I wanted to see if you came over on the Mayflower.
Come on, Mayflower.
You did? How was it?
It was a long, dark, cold, very frightening journey here, but very, very stormy at that time of the year that we come here.
It was.
And we were down underneath in the midst of the ship where everything was covered over and it was dark. But it was an old ship and there were many storms and the water would come right through the bars. And once your bedding or your clothing got wet, there was no getting it dry again. Oh. And so many become very, very ill with coughs and rheums and fevers. And there was a lot of sickness of the sea as well, for many people had never traveled upon a ship. I was fortunate as a young man that I did travel betwixt England and the Netherlands several times when I was quite young. And I think that motion just stayed with me, for I had no sickness of the sea coming here at all. But it was very frightening. There was one time when the ship in a great storm was lifted up and dropped, and the main beam over our heads started to crack. Unfortunately, we had a large screw tack on the hold of the ship, which we had mariners retrieving for us, and put under that to push it back into place and hold it until the ship's carpenter was able to put another beam under it. For if that beam had broken, the whole upper deck would have come right down on us, and all the water would have come. We would have been at the bottom of the ocean. So it was most frightening. But even in the darkest moment of that, the Lord did not desert us. He stayed with us and got us here safely.
And how long did it take you?
A little more than 2 months to get here. Once we left with just the one ship, of course, we had another ship that we had brought out of Holland. We left out of Delfshaven. It was called Speedwell. But that ship proved to be very leaky, and so we had to turn. We'd set out and then turn back, and we lost almost 2 months' time doing that. So those of us who left from Holland, we were on ships for 4 months before we counted, but the journey on just the one ship was a little more than 2 months. But then the next ship that come here a year later, an Esther Barker ship called Fortune, took them 4 months to come. For they got in the midst of the ocean and they were becalmed, and without wind, ships don't go anywhere.
Well, as did Little James, it took over 4 months to get here as well. It is dependent upon the wind that you are, so and there's no control on that.
Were there any ladies that came across on the Mayflower?
Oh yes, we brought families with us.
Oh, okay.
My wife did come with us, with me and my two youngest sons, and we had 2 children, a little boy and a little girl who had been put to this family. But there were other families. We even had a birth in the midst of the ocean. Goodwife Hopkins across the street here did her birth.